before I get up out of here, I did want let me talk to y'all about something right quick. And I appreciate everybody for showing up and staying tapped in with me this whole way through. Can I talk about some of the y'all remember we talked about the Diddy video a little bit ago, right? And I wanted to talk about DV real quick because I started seeing reactions from people, and I remember one that stood out to me was just like I think it was Evelyn Lozado or Lozada. I don't know how you pronounce the last part of her last name, but the Evelyn that used to deal with Chad Ochocinco, right? And she was talking about it. She was just talking about how like seeing it just triggered all this trauma and the feelings of just like being abused and battered and all this type of stuff. And I was just thinking like, I wonder what it is like with is it a conditioning thing that women who have been abused before, when they see other people that have been abused or they see like videos, it's like it triggers something in them like that because like a lot of men, we have experiences with abuse and stuff like that in relationship. Oh, damn. Abuse and whatever in relationship. Like if you, let's say you line up like 500 black men and you ask all of them, hey, has your girlfriend or wife or whatever ever hit you before? I guarantee at least 300 of them, at least 300. Now it's probably more than that. At least 300 say, yeah, I've been hit before. You're like, oh, my girl went upside my head, hit me with the phone, threw something at me, punched me. Yeah, that happened before. I guarantee it's probably more than that. But I'm just saying, this happens, right? But we don't see the same like response to, we don't see the same response to seeing abuse from men, right? And I don't know if it's because of the way that men are conditioned to just think like we're supposed to be violent, so somebody being violent with us is just normal, or if, yeah, I'll just leave it like that. Are we looking at it like violence towards us is just normal? Because a lot of us don't have that same type of emotional response when we see it, even if we dealt with it before. You see what I'm saying? I just always wonder, like, what do people think about that? Like, what is that about? Because I do see, and sometimes you even hear like there's a video that been going viral about Megan Thee Stallion, like just like laughing and joking and saying how like, yo, I learned from hitting my man, like don't hit your man because he gonna call the law on you. Like I had to learn the hard way that they gonna tell for sure. They gonna tell. And I'm just like, man, she playing with it when it's like they play with it when it's the women doing the hitting. But when the men do the hitting, it's like not a game. And I don't think it is a game. But I'm just saying that why is it such there's not an emotional response to men getting hit on. You know what I'm saying? It's like we just think like, yeah, you a man, like let's be violent. Be violent with somebody. Or let people be violent with you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder what that is. I don't have a theory about what it is. I just want to throw it out there, see if maybe one of y'all might have a theory on what that's about. I see a comment that say, I don't think it triggers everyone. It's familiar to some, in my opinion. I think some are trying to get attention on themselves, though. Could be. Jerome Street said, we get beat up forever if we push and get back, and we are the abuser. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of statistics or whatever show like black men as being the most, as far as the, no. Statistics show that men are the most violent, right? And we are the most violent. But it looks like men are overwhelmingly more violent in relationships than everybody else, when the reality is men just don't report violence against us in relationships like that. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter what's happening. You are and I know people that have been stabbed by their girlfriends and stuff like that. You're rarely going to find a situation where a dude is reporting it to anybody, except for like telling the friends like, yo, she done hit me in the mouth, man. I had to get up out of there. She was tripping. That's pretty much as far as it's going to go with reporting it. So a lot of these statistics don't show anything related to male victims in domestic violence situations. It's almost like non-existent. It's looked at like it don't even happen. And it's funny because everybody knows it does happen, but it was like non-existent as far as statistics go. Diddy is a messed up. Oh, let me see. Maybe something else. Yeah, Jerome said we don't report nothing. We get beat up. It's a fact. It's just something, like I said, this could be a conditioning thing, a society conditioning thing that we just don't feel like we should report it. Like there has to be, we have to be in life-threatening situation for us to even like go get help for an injury or something like that. So I didn't have nothing on that for real. I just wanted to throw that out there and see if anybody else had their own theories. Let me see. To me, if you black and don't to see him held accountable for his actions, then why march when you feel? No, I'm not. Wait, who talking about Diddy? I ain't saying nothing about Diddy. I wasn't specifically talking about Diddy as far as this goes. I ain't saying Diddy shouldn't be punished for his actions at all. I'm just talking about Diddy did what he did. I don't think that Cassie was going upside his head at all. That's not what I'm saying. I was talking about Evelyn watching the video and responding the way she responded. Whereas like a man watching that video that dealt with it before, I don't think the man is going to say, oh my God, I just got so like triggered. It just brought so much back. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the Diddy. Diddy is going to get what he's going to get. Like cook him up, fillet him up. I don't even talk about Diddy at all. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I just wanted to, I thought it was interesting that the different responses from the different genders. You know what I'm saying? And the cold part about it is relationships and what they be saying on Twitter. I know y'all like to tussle. Relationships with the most violence between partners, lesbian relationships. Y'all look that up. You ain't got to quote me on that. You look it up. Right? Y'all look it up. The most hitting that goes on in the relationships, women on women. I don't have a problem with anybody. I'm just telling y'all that that's where it happens the most at. Statistically, of course. But yeah. Men and women process trauma differently, for sure. That's Blowing Bubbles Podcast. As y'all can see, I got the Blowing Bubbles Podcast shirt on today for the show. But yes, men and women definitely process trauma differently. But this is the thing about when we talk about trauma. I'm not even sure most men think about domestic violence when we're the victim as trauma. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about conditioning. I don't even know if we consider that trauma. Do men even consider it trauma when like it's like we feel like, oh, I did something wrong, so she kind of had a right to go upside my head. That's how we look at it for the most part. Not everybody, but for the most part, we kind of look at it like, oh, there must be some rational reason, some rationalized idea as to why she threw a phone at me. Of course she threw a phone at me because I did something, you know what I'm saying? I cheated, so she hit me with the nearest thing to her. So I don't even think that we look at that as trauma at all. Men, I don't think so. Most of us, like if you didn't get stabbed or shot by the girl, if she just like swung on you or something like that, threw whatever the nearest object was to her, some shoes at you, whatever. I don't think we not, you know what I mean? Coco said men are conditioned to not show emotion. Yeah, there's some of that in there too. Jerome said no justification. Any man fight a girl whack. Yeah. That was the Diddy thing. I wasn't justifying nothing that Diddy did. I have no justification for him. And I've been trying to tell people all of this time about who's better and all. I've been telling y'all that Jermaine Dupri was better than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And now, this is just furthers my proof. He's just, you never heard Jermaine Dupri dragging nobody down those stairs or beating nobody up and all that type of stuff. And Jermaine Dupri done had plenty of ladies. He might have cheated on them, but he ain't beat them up. So yeah, shout out to JD, Atlanta legend, hip hop legend, R&B legend. He a legend in 3 games like he Pee Wee Kirkland. This says black people are canceling Diddy, but will vote for Trump with him losing a case for violating a woman and saying he grabbed him by the cat. But listen, this is the thing, K-Way. The black people that are canceling Diddy are not the same black people voting for Trump. Please keep that in mind. They're different people. Coco says, I know I hit hard. So if I hit a man, I'm going to expect to get hit back. I'm just saying that's why I wouldn't hit a man. Okay. Jerome said, as a man, I grew up in an abusive household. Sometimes the reason I'm reading like this is because it's small and I'm having a hard time reading. Let me pop this chat out and read it on another screen because this is tiny. And shout out to y'all for engaging in this topic because I do think it's interesting. Once again, let me clarify if anybody thought this. I am not saying that Diddy is innocent. I'm not even talking about Diddy. I was talking about how people view that video. All right, here we go. I grew up in a household. I wish I have more power to tell my mother, please don't piss him off. He's going to fight you. Word. Blowing Bubbles podcast. Men have a harder time acknowledging what they deal with as them being abused. Pride tells a man he's stronger, so it can't be that. He did something to hurt her, so he accepts it. Many layers to this. That's true. Jerome Street said, sad, but I knew when it was going to be a fight, a lot of trauma, but strong women, you can't hold them back. Love you, mama. God bless. For sure. I didn't like Diddy forever. He has a dark spirit. Yep, Coco. A lot of people have been calling out Diddy for his evil ways. And now y'all see that Biggie's mom said if she see him, she gonna go upside his head. So there's been people that been holding in some stuff about Diddy for a very long time. It's crazy. I never thought we'd see Biggie's mom say nothing like that. I'm guessing because she read that expose that was done about Bad Boy and Diddy seemed kind of like whatever they read in there was disgusting. I didn't read it, but Miss Wallace, though, she for sure says if she see Diddy, she going upside his head.